Combat adrenal fatigue. I extend a very warm welcome to this video. I've created multiple videos on the topic of adrenal fatigue, which garnered significant interest, and many comments were specifically about how to effectively treat it. That's the purpose of this video. Here, I'll outline various treatment strategies, life-altering measures, and what steps one should take. And of course, in a manner that it doesn't become a full-time job, but rather it can be seamlessly incorporated into your everyday life. So, let's dive in. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate every subscription. Just give me the signal here to continue. So one significant factor that often leads to adrenal fatigue is stress. And it's important to discuss this briefly because many individuals aren't fully aware of what stress actually entails. Stress implies that in response to stressful stimuli, our bodies are required to release specific stress hormones. These include cortisol, which is our body's own ultra short-term stress hormone. Additionally, there are adrenaline and noradrenaline, which are the short-term stress hormones, and of course cortisol again, serving as the long-term stress hormone. Throughout our daily lives, we encounter numerous situations that necessitate adaptation. In essence, stress can be understood as the body's capacity for adaptation. High stress implies that I must adapt considerably or to a great extent to a situation. Low stress implies that I am accustomed to the situation, I don't need to adapt much, or it pertains to the adrenal glands or the hormonal system. It becomes straightforward. For instance, if you have a choleric boss and you need to adapt to his temperament every day, then you experience a high level of stress. You're subjected to a high degree of adaptation. You must perpetually adjust, causing your adrenal glands to continuously secrete stress hormones, and this represents a significant misunderstanding. Stress fundamentally indicates that our bodies are able to generate sufficient quantities of stress hormones, which allows us to adjust and cope with specific situations. If it's suitable for you, you can definitely engage in meditation. There are countless methods available to manage stress. I consistently advise my patients that one of the most straightforward strategies, and there is empirical evidence to back this up, is to recognize that they are currently in a stressful situation. It's crucial for them to realize they need to adjust once more because these stresses often arise subconsciously. We might find ourselves getting upset over trivial matters such as a scratch on the car or something similar. However, it is possible to train oneself to become conscious of the stress as it occurs, to direct your alertness and focus onto it, and by doing so, the stress naturally begins to subside. The subsequent chapter, which is both simple and a vital component of therapy, involves cultivating healthy sleep habits. It typically hits around 11 p.m., which poses a problem for individuals with adrenal insufficiency. Their condition means that they release very little cortisol in the morning. As the day progresses, they gradually start to feel better, leading many to work late into the night. We're familiar with the scenario. It's around 11 p.m., they're utterly exhausted, slumped on the couch since 10 or 11 p.m., mindlessly flipping through channels, and then, out of nowhere, whoosh, they experience a sudden burst of energy, a second wind. And you become alert again. And that's something you absolutely can't afford with adrenal insufficiency. So, you have to ensure that you're tucked in bed by 10:30 or 11 p.m. at the very latest, so that you're already deep in slumber when that second wind hits. Because that second wind has the power to carry us right up to around 1 a.m. or so, and that's always exceedingly unfavorable. We're well aware that a nice melatonin level and healthy sleep are crucial. Moreover, sleeping in longer can also aid those with poorly functioning adrenals. Therefore, between 7 and 9 a.m., it's common for many individuals with adrenal insufficiency, especially if they struggle with sleep issues, to take their restorative nap. It's completely okay to just sleep through the time when cortisol levels are supposed to be at their peak. That's their highest point. And if you manage to sleep through that period, things begin to improve right then and there. So that's a crucial point to note. Another tip, quite a few individuals with adrenal insufficiency find themselves awake between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m., where they're wide awake. From Chinese medicine, we know that's the liver, and in the case of adrenal insufficiency, it could just be a too low glycogen store, meaning these people then benefit from a nighttime snack that's maybe rich in protein, that contains some complex carbohydrates, whole grain bread with some spread on it, a protein spread, whatever, like one made from cashews, for example. What's the name? Cashew cream peanut butter or something along those lines. So if you're dealing with this issue, it's worth a shot. However, this suggestion is specifically for adrenal insufficiency, not for other conditions, just adrenal insufficiency. The recommendation is to have a nighttime snack in the evening. That's the basic concept. We should have breakfast as soon as we wake up. Why? People with adrenal insufficiency are kind of dependent on their blood sugar levels. That means when their blood sugar drops, they start to feel bad. And why is that? Because their cortisol is low. Indeed, the body's naturally produced cortisol plays a crucial role in regulating blood sugar, particularly when cortisol levels are low. If one begins the day with low blood sugar, it's common to feel unwell, underscoring the importance of raising blood sugar levels in a healthy and sensible manner, rather than reaching for quick fixes like white rolls slathered with hazelnut spread and a side of cocoa. It's advisable to adhere to a low-carb approach, incorporating foods like whole grain bread and complex carbohydrates. This strategy helps prevent the undesirable spikes and crashes in blood sugar, ensuring a more consistent availability of energy. Moreover, it's beneficial for many individuals to eat more frequently throughout the day, not limiting themselves to just the 3 standard meals. Introducing a couple of snacks, perhaps some protein or a handful of peanuts, can help maintain a steady blood sugar level. It's akin to a truck maintaining a smooth, steady pace in the right lane of the highway, avoiding any significant blood sugar fluctuations. Naturally, there's always a significant risk in managing blood sugar, but with careful planning and wise dietary choices, these risks can be effectively managed. It's possible that one might turn to sugary snacks, just as with caffeine. I would advise cutting out caffeine immediately, including black tea and the like. Anything that stimulates the adrenal glands, eliminate it. Smoking, eliminate that as well. It's understandable why people would want to do it, as it naturally provides a quick boost. Individuals with cortisol deficiency might experience low blood sugar levels. Consequently, they quickly reach for a snack bar and then feel better, but ultimately, at the end of the day, this leads to weight gain and only offers a temporary boost. It fails to address the underlying issue in the end. Moderate exercise is certainly beneficial before we delve into the specifics of micronutrient therapy. It's crucial to understand that while competitive sports and extreme sports can negatively impact cortisol levels, engaging in feel-good exercise or comfortable physical activity is essential. This type of exercise helps to reduce stress, gets you moving, and improves circulation. For example, we are aware that exercise can significantly improve symptoms of depression, and ultimately it's essential to maintain an active lifestyle. One aspect of nutrition I forgot to mention earlier is salt. We're frequently told that salt is very bad for us. In the case of adrenal fatigue, salt isn't as frowned upon. Quite the opposite, actually. Numerous doctors actually encourage the use of salt because it can benefit the adrenal gland salt balance. Therefore, if you feel the need to salt your food, you're permitted to do so when dealing with adrenal fatigue. So, it's not exactly prohibited. Staying on the topic of nutrition, allergies. We know that many people with adrenal insufficiency are actually allergic. They just usually don't know it themselves. In emergency services, we're aware of this. An allergy can be suppressed with cortisol, and it's always a critical phase when someone is fighting for their life. Due to an allergic reaction, we must find a way to manage the next 15 minutes. After which, our priority is to sustain him until the cortisone starts to take effect once we've administered it. Consequently, it's not uncommon for individuals with low cortisol levels to suffer from allergies. They may be completely unaware of the allergen. It could be a food allergy causing their system to be persistently inflamed as a cortisol system, resulting in the adrenal gland receiving no respite. Essentially, cortisol is being continuously activated and expended without any recognition. This underscores the importance of determining whether you have allergies, address and treat allergies when necessary, and naturally steer clear of the allergens. Let us now transition to discussing dietary supplements. Within this realm, there exist certain intriguing micronutrients, for instance, vitamin C. Vitamin C is notably influential in the synthesis of the hormone cortisol. Numerous individuals or various authors suggest that for combating adrenal fatigue, it is crucial to maintain adequate levels of vitamin C, potentially exceeding the standard 200 milligrams, possibly up to a gram. It is important to ensure that it contains bioflavonoids, which implies that the more natural the source of vitamin C, the more beneficial it is. Ideally, it could come from acerola cherries or similar natural sources, rather than just synthetic, unadulterated vitamin C, or, to put it another way, superior compounds that are more efficiently absorbed by the cells. In essence, we're talking about a more effective form of vitamin C. Vitamin E is also not without interest. There are tocopherols and there's beta-tocopherol. This beta-tocopherol apparently plays a more significant role in hormone synthesis, including cortisol, than alpha-tocopherol does. Nonetheless, I wouldn't settle for a basic, inexpensive vitamin E supplement. Instead, I would prefer to choose a product of slightly higher quality that includes a range of tocopherols. Nowadays, such products are readily accessible in the market, providing an ample supply of vitamin E. This nutrient is an exceptionally potent antioxidant and appears to have a crucial function in the adrenal glands, particularly during the production of cortisol. About 800 units is the recommended amount, according to experts. Equally essential is the B vitamin complex, with particular emphasis on vitamin B5 as well as B3. Vitamin B5, known as pantothenic acid, plays a direct role in the synthesis of cortisol, and it is instrumental in the generation of acetyl-CoA, a vital molecule in metabolism. This acetyl-CoA ultimately functions as a carrier of energy. I often remark, a sausage with a roll and mustard isn't simply something we consume, it must be transformed into a form of energy. And in this transformation, vitamin B5 is crucial, as it aids the adrenal glands and the metabolic process. Additionally, there's vitamin B3, which I've just referred to, equally essential, known as niacin. Also plays a role in the production of hormones within the adrenal gland. Vitamin B6 frequently appears in nutritional recommendations as well. It's generally wise to bear in mind that the full spectrum of B vitamins is advantageous for the health of the adrenal gland, and these vitamins additionally exert beneficial impacts on the nervous system. Magnesium is unequivocally beneficial for reducing stress. Similarly, calcium is often advised, particularly for those with allergies. It helps to stabilize allergic reactions. This is an age-old secret remedy that was commonly employed in earlier times. In the clinic, we often did this. Give an allergy sufferer a calcium tablet, and just like that, the histamine levels and such normalize. It's worth a try, a pretty good trick. And then we have some herbal extracts. Ashwagandha is particularly interesting here because it can stimulate cortisol synthesis. It has a calming effect and also exhibits antidepressant properties. Many individuals are already incorporating ashwagandha into their regimen. My personal favorite, though, is Korean ginseng. It can be utilized when cortisol levels are excessively high, as well as when they are too low. The Chinese, they attribute a kind of magical effect to it, and in practice that actually works quite well with the ginseng. It's like suddenly getting a bit of energy out of nowhere. That's how you can picture it. Ginger also plays a role here, worth giving a try, for adrenal insufficiency. And many people also take ginkgo extracts for the nerves. When it comes to nerve involvement, where you're not merely perpetually exhausted, but also experience a kind of restlessness within your mind and similar symptoms, ginkgo is often a popular choice. For my part, I don't utilize ginkgo to address adrenal insufficiency. Instead, I favor ashwagandha, ginseng, and the minerals that I've just referred to. My little secret weapon happens to be cell extracts. If you've never heard of it, you can use the building blocks of the organs. Peptides can be harvested and then taken as cell extracts. For a long time, cell extracts had a really bad reputation, especially when they were injected. Nowadays, there are cell extracts that can be taken in pill form, so cell extracts, specifically special peptides, special little building blocks, ultimately to help the organ, how should I put it, simply remain faithful to the original intent, making sure the building blocks are easily accessible. Moving on to the subject of hormones, I've created a video explaining why I don't usually prescribe cortisol or cortisone directly, except in very, very rare and exceptional circumstances, such as when the adrenal insufficiency is profoundly severe. The issue is that I aim to reactivate the adrenal gland. I want to re-energize it, and I don't want to, so to speak, take away its command by tricking the body's central control into thinking, hey, there's plenty of cortisol around, because it's coming in through a pill several times a day. That's why it's important to take a close look at the hormone system. In most people, you'll find other things, like a DHEA deficiency, for example. DHEA is a precursor to testosterone and a precursor to estrogen through further metabolism. DHEA is also produced in the adrenal gland. Frequently, you'll notice that the deficiency isn't limited to cortisol alone. DHEA levels are often found to be low as well, suggesting a dual insufficiency. In these cases, judicious supplementation with DHEA may facilitate a restorative effect. This substance has earned the nickname Hollywood hormone because numerous celebrities and the wealthy toot DHEA as their secret to maintaining youthfulness. Nonetheless, research suggests that supplementing with DHEA is futile if your levels are already adequate, as it won't confer additional advantages. However, if DHEA is indeed low, then it certainly merits consideration for addressing adrenal insufficiency. And one of my favorite hormones, naturally, is progesterone, which is the precursor to cortisol. I also pay very close attention to the progesterone levels in both men and women, ensuring that you're providing the essential building material for the adrenal glands. In summary, treating adrenal fatigue requires a multimodal treatment approach. You need a healthy diet, regular exercise, good sleep, appropriate allergy treatment, and targeted micronutrient therapy. These are simply things. These tasks simply need to be managed concurrently, and there's no solitary magical pill or complex formula that will repair the adrenal glands. It's essential to undertake a variety of actions. Naturally, the approach becomes more accurate when I perform measurements, when I carry out hormone testing and the like, which I also showcase in my educational course. Thus, ultimately, precision is key, but with this video you definitely receive numerous recommendations that can be straightforwardly implemented in practice and that generally yield good results. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you shortly until we meet again in the upcoming video.